Hi everyone, I'm Tang Tang from Susan's family. Today, I'll show you a rainbow bunny blanket. For this electronic tutorial, search susode.com on the website and check it out. The blanket consists of the main part, edging, and accessories. Let's start with making the main part. After completing it, we will crochet the edging, and finally make and attach the accessories. Let's start with making the main part. I'll first explain the method of working the fabric piece. I'll cover more details later. We'll go over various situations you might encounter while crocheting. You can watch me demonstrate first, then refer to the chart for your own crocheting. The main part uses the diagonal method, work back and forth. It's divided into two sections, the increasing section and the decreasing section. In the middle, by continuously joining new yarn and changing colors, we crochet the corresponding pattern. The stitches used include chain stitch, double crochet, and slip stitch. Please watch my demonstration. For convenience while watching, I'll use thicker yarn for this demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn, the color schemes and crochet hook sizes can be referenced from the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. First, foundation chain 3 STS. Then work the first row. Chain 3 to start. Starting from the fourth chain stitch from the hook, pick up one strand on the top of the chain and work 3 double crochets. Here, treat these 3 chains and 3 double crochets as one cluster. There is only one cluster in the first row. The first row is completed. Move on to the second row. Start with a chain of 3. When working back and forth, you need to flip the fabric over. Turn it counterclockwise. Then pick up these 3 chains and work one cluster. Begin with 3 chain stitches as your starting chain. At this point, the back side of the chains should be facing you. Pick the highest position of the half stitch corresponding to the chain, that is, the line above the raised horizontal bar. Correspondingly make 3 double crochets. If you can't find the position accurately, you can also count from the front of the chain. After completing this, one cluster is done. Insert into the first cluster below. Starting point. In the large hole next to it, which is here. Insert into the large hole and work a slip stitch. Continue here with another cluster. Chain 3 as beginning chain. Pick up the same hole, work 3 double crochets. This row has 2 clusters completed. The second row is done. Move on to the third row. Start with chaining 3. Then turn over. Pick up the position of these 3 chain stitches, crochet a cluster. Similarly, here the back loop of the chain is facing yourself. Insert into the highest half stitch and work. After completion, pick up the adjacent cluster, start with the gap between the beginning chain and double crochet, that is, the hole next to the turning chain. Work a slip stitch. Then pick up the same hole. Crochet a cluster. After completing, continue to pick the gap of the adjacent cluster. Work a slip stitch. Then crochet a cluster here. The third row is completed. This row has 3 clusters. You can see that the texture of this row corresponds to the first row. This is the right side of the piece. The texture of the double crochets is more neat. When distinguishing the right side from the wrong side later, you can refer to the texture. At the same time, the yarn tail for the starting chain should be located at the bottom right corner. Next, crochet the fourth row. The method is the same as before. Start with a chain stitch first. Then work a cluster. After completing, pick the gap of the adjacent cluster and slip stitch. Continue with the second cluster. Correspondingly, work the clusters in their positions afterward. Use one slip stitch as a transition between clusters. Continue crocheting downward. Finish the last cluster. The fourth row is completed. There are 4 clusters in this row. Follow the chart below. Continue crocheting the remaining increasing section. That concludes the explanation of the increasing section. Next, crochet the decreasing section. Here you need to decrease clusters on both diagonal ends. Start by making 3 beginning chains. Turn over. Work a slip stitch in the cluster below. Then crochet 1 cluster. Continue working the corresponding clusters after that. Keep going until you reach the point where you need to finish crocheting on the inner side of the last cluster. Do not continue crocheting afterward. Proceed with a slip stitch. This way, both the beginning and ending are missing 1 cluster. That's it for this row. Move on to the next row. Use the same method. Start with 3 chain stitches as beginning chains. Turn over and work a slip stitch in the cluster below. Then crochet 1 cluster. Continue working the corresponding clusters after that. Finish crocheting on the inner side of the last cluster. This way, this row is completed. From now on, simply follow the method used in the first 2 rows. Continue crocheting. Keep going all the way until the last row. When finished, there will only be 1 cluster in this last row. After completing it, slip stitch into the adjacent cluster to secure. Then crochet 3 chain stitches. Turn over. Slip stitch into the cluster below. Once done, you need to fasten off the yarn. Start with 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a little yarn tail. Break the yarn. Pull tight. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. You can weave in the ends a few more times for security. That concludes the explanation of the decreasing section. This completes the demonstration of the crochet method for this piece. Next, I will explain a few situations you might encounter while crocheting the piece. Below, I'll discuss some scenarios you may come across during the process of crocheting the fabric piece. I will now use a swatch to explain and demonstrate. First, I'll show you how to join new yarn. There are 2 scenarios. Let me explain the first one first. Joining new yarn at the start of a row. Please watch the demonstration. After completing the last edge group stitch of the previous row, enlarge the loop. We will pass the fabric piece through the loop. Take the new yarn. Make a slip knot. Insert into this double crochet stitch on the edge. Draw the yarn through. Adjust the loop size. Chain 3 with the new yarn. Then turn your work. Start crocheting the group. That's it for the color change on the edge. Next, I'll explain the second scenario. When you need to join new yarn in the middle of a row, please watch me demonstrate. We will take the working yarn. Place the entire fabric piece on the wrong side. Take out the new yarn. Make a knot. Insert the hook into the gap. Pull the yarn through. Keep the yarn tail for joining on the backside. Then crochet one group. When crocheting the group, you can wrap the strands of the yarn tails. This will cover the joining yarn tail while crocheting. That's all for adding new yarn in one row. The situation of joining new yarn has been explained. Next, I will demonstrate changing colors in adjacent groups. This requires leaving yarn tails. There are two scenarios. Let me first explain the first one. In the surrounding areas of this color block, which is either above or on the left side, where the same color yarn needs to be used. Please watch as I demonstrate. After completing this color block, don't cut the yarn. When crocheting the next row, use this same yarn. Simply pull the yarn over and crochet the pattern. Place the working yarn on the wrong side of the entire fabric. Gently tighten the previous stitch. Make sure the pulled yarn isn't too tight. For the yarn that you pull over, when crocheting the pattern again, weave it into the stitches. That concludes the first scenario. Next, let's talk about the second one. The yarn color around this color block won't be used, but one stitch below on the left, separated by a group. Or above on the left, the same color thread will be used. In this case, you can simply pull the yarn over and crochet. That concludes the second scenario. So, that's how you handle color changes with adjacent groups while leaving yarn tails. Next, I'll explain how to change colors without leaving yarn tails in adjacent groups. But two groups below on the left or above, it will be used. In this case, we can leave a 15 centimeters tail, then cut it off. When crocheting the group, you can rejoin the yarn. Now, I'll demonstrate how to hide the yarn tails. After breaking the yarn. For the color change section, first take the yarn tail. And weave it in from the chain stitch above. Draw the yarn through. Slightly tighten. This is equivalent to tying a knot. The remaining tail end will be hidden on the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure to weave in a few more stitches. If you want it to be more secure, you can divide the tail into two parts. Pull one part through an adjacent stitch. Then tie the two ends in a double knot. Then hide the remaining tail inside the fabric together. Make sure to weave in a few more stitches. For the rest of the tails, except for the starting tail, hide them separately inside the fabric. The joining yarn tail should also be woven in further inside the fabric. That concludes how to change colors in adjacent patterns without leaving tails. Below, I will explain when the same color block is farther apart in a row. This applies when there is at least a gap of 2 patterns or more. To make crocheting easier, you can rejoin the yarn in one of the sections. A ball of yarn has 2 ends. One on the surface and one in the center. When you encounter a color with only one ball of yarn, use the other end to join the yarn. For colors with multiple balls, you can use another ball to rejoin the yarn. First, place the previous color's tail on the wrong side of the fabric. Then pick up the corresponding yarn and join it. That concludes how to handle same color blocks that are far apart in one row. Now let's crochet the edging for the blanket. The new stitches we'll use include single crochets and CH3SL picket. Please watch the demonstration. Start with the first round. Place the blanket with the right side facing up. Locate the edge on the side where you began crocheting. Find the topmost cluster. We'll start next to this cluster by picking up a long stitch to join the yarn. Make one beginning chain. Work 2 single crochets in the same stitch. With the yarn tail for joining, weave in as you go. Chain 2. Rotate the piece. Pick up the entire chain space and work 3 single crochets. Then pick up the adjacent entire chain, and work 2 single crochets. We'll consider the 5 single crochets on the left side of the chain as a group. Next, pick up the entire chain. Alternate between crocheting 3 single crochets and 2 single crochets. Work the entire round. If you encounter a starting point like this along the way, pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain and work a single crochet. If you encounter a double crochet, pick up the strands of the double crochet and work a single crochet. Pay attention, at each corner, connect with a chain stitch. Everyone follow the chart to complete this round. After completing it, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. That's it for the first round. Now let's move on to the second round. Take the new yarn. Join the yarn in the last stitch of the previous round. Work 3 chains as a beginning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet. Work 2 double crochets at the joining position. After completing, skip 2 stitches. In the chain space on the left side, work 3 double crochets. Chain 2. In the same stitch, work 3 more double crochets. That completes one corner. Rotate the piece. Skip 3 stitches. Work 3 double crochets in the fourth stitch. Then skip 2 stitches. Following that, continue with the pattern of working 3 double crochets. Skip 2 stitches, all the way down the edge until it's finished. After completing, work one corner in the chain space on the left side. For the following corners, follow the demonstration here. For the edges, follow the demonstration for the previous edges. Work all the way around to complete the circle. Finally, insert your hook under the 2 strands of the 3rd chain from the beginning chain. Make 1 slip stitch. Cut the yarn. This completes the 2nd round. Move on to the 3rd round. At the beginning chain, join the yarn on the left side of this hole. Chain 3 as a starting chain. Work 2 double crochets in the joining position. Work 1 corner stitch in the hole at the corner position on the left. Rotate the piece. Insert your hook into each hole between every 3 double crochets. And work 3 double crochets. Follow the chart to complete this round. Join with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. This completes the 3rd round. For the following rounds, follow the demonstration of the 3rd round, and refer to the chart, continuing until the 3rd to last round is completed. Now let's work on the 2nd to last round. Join the yarn at the double crochet stitch to the left of the beginning chain. Work 1 chain as a beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Work 1 single crochet in the stitch on the left. Work 1 single crochet in each double crochet stitch. Work 2 single crochets in the chain space at each corner. Chain 2 to connect between single crochets. Follow the chart to complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch join. This completes the second to last round. Now let's work on the final round. Chain 3 as a beginning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet. Work 4 double crochets in the same position as the slip stitch. Skip 1 stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Work 1 CH3SL picket. First, chain 3. Then, insert the hook into the front loop of the single crochet, and pick up 1 strand on the left side. Work 1 slip stitch. This completes the CH3SL picket. Skip 1 stitch below. Work 1 single crochet in the left stitch. We will consider the stitches we've done so far as one pattern. Next, in the chain space at the corner on the left side, work 9 double crochets. After completing them, rotate the piece. Skip 1 stitch below. Work 1 single crochet. Work 1 CH3SL picket. Then skip 1 stitch again. Work 1 single crochet. Then skip 1 stitch. Work 1 pattern group. That is, first work 5 double crochets. Skip 1 stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Work 1 CH3SL picket. Skip 1 stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Continue following the previous demonstration. Refer to the chart and finish this round. Join with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Make sure to weave in the tail thoroughly. That concludes how to crochet the edging. Next, we'll learn about decorations. There are mommy rabbit decorations, baby rabbit decorations, butterflies, and stars. Let's start with the mommy rabbit decoration. It includes facial features, skirt edging, and sleeve edging, tail and bow. The facial features include eyes, nose, and blush. Let's start with the blush. Begin with a foundation chain method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitches used are half double crochet and SC 2-in-1. Please watch the demonstration. Get the yarn. Foundation chain 9 STS. Working 2 chains as beginning chain. This counts as 1 half double crochet. Then start from the 3rd chain from the hook. Pick up 1 strand on the top of the chain, and make 2 half double crochets. On the left side, pick up 1 strand of the chain, and work 1 half double crochet. Five double crochets. One half double crochet. Then work 5 half double crochets in the last chain. After completing, rotate the piece. Pick up the other 2 strands of the chain, and make 1 half double crochet. Pay attention not to insert into the same position as those 5 stitches. Continue with 5 double crochets on the left side. One half double crochet. And work 2 half double crochets in the last chain. Then join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Pick up the other 2 strands of the second chain from the beginning chain, and work a slip stitch. This completes the first round. Next, move on to the second round. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 SC 2-in-1 at the insertion point of the slip stitch. That is, work 2 single crochets in the same place. The SC 2-in-1 is completed. For the rest, follow the chart to work the corresponding stitches. Finally, join with a slip stitch. This completes the second round. Leave a 30 cm tail and cut the yarn. Thread the needle. Sew on to the corresponding position as shown in the finished product diagram. The placement here is random. Place the blush with its wrong side facing up. First, pick up a few strands from the surface of the main piece. Then sew through the blush to attach it. Be mindful not to let any visible stitches show on the wrong side of the main piece. Follow this method. Sew all the way around this circle. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. That concludes the demonstration of the blush. Next, let's learn how to make the nose. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch the demonstration. Take the corresponding yarn. Begin with a magic ring. Then make one beginning chain. Work 5 single crochets into the ring. Tighten the center of the piece. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Do not pull too tight. At the end, leave a 15 cm tail and cut the yarn. This completes the nose. Follow the sewing method used for the blush. Match the position according to the finished product diagram, and sew it in place. Ensure the right side of the nose is facing up. For the eyes, crochet based on the pattern chart, and sew them in the corresponding positions. Make sure the right side is facing up. That concludes the facial features. Next, we will crochet the cuff edges and skirt edges. Both start with a foundation chain method. Work back and forth. Please watch the demonstration. I'll demonstrate the cuff edge first. Start with a chain stitch. Then make 3 chains as the beginning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet, then continue from the 4th stitch from the end. Crochet 1 double crochet stitch. Then work 2 double crochets into each chain stitch on the left side. That completes the first row. Now, move on to the second row, make 3 chains as the beginning chain. Turn your work. These 3 chains correspond to the first double crochet stitch below. Start from the 2nd stitch. Work 1 double crochet into each stitch. The last stitch is worked into the turning chain of the previous row. That completes the second row. Leave a 30 cm tail for sewing. Thread the needle. Move the yarn to the starting point. Sew it onto the corresponding position on the finished piece. Pick up the yarn from the surface of the main part. Sew it together with the other 2 strands at the starting point. My placement is random here. After completion, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. Make sure to hide all yarn tails. That concludes the cuffs. For the skirt edge, just crochet based on the pattern chart. The sewing method is identical to the cuffs. Sew according to the position shown in the finished product picture. That concludes the skirt edge. Next, let's learn how to make the tail. Start by making a pom-pom first. After completion, sew it onto the corresponding position on the main piece. Here's one method for making a pom-pom. Please watch the demonstration. This is the method of making a pom-pom using a pom-pom maker. Commonly used pom-pom makers usually come in 4 sizes. Different sizes produce pom-poms of different sizes. The diameters of the pom-poms made are 3.5 centimeters, 5.5 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and 9 centimeters. Choose the appropriate size of pom-pom maker, based on the required diameter of the pom-pom. Select a properly sized pom-pom maker. A set of pom-pom makers has 2 petals like this. Open all the buckles on top. Then align the dots and circles here. It is divided into 2 arcs. Then get the yarn. Wrap the yarn around the arc. Try to wrap it as evenly as possible. Wrap one side of the arc until it's almost full, or wrap until you reach the desired number of rounds. After one side is completed, switch directions and wrap the other side. Make sure to wrap this side as well. Once wrapping is done, fold in half. Fasten the buckles here. Cut the yarn tail. From the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker, cut the yarn open. Do the same on the other side. Then cut a piece of yarn, about 30 centimeters in length. Tie a knot and secure it from the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker. Try to pull the yarn tail as tight as possible. Go to the other side and tie another knot. Make sure to tie a few more knots to secure it tightly. Then release the pom-pom maker. Fluff it up by rubbing. And use scissors to trim it into a more rounded shape. This is what the pom-pom looks like when it's completed. You can use the tie string to attach the pom-pom to the fabric. After completing the pom-pom, take out a ribbon next. Fold it in half. And make a bow. The size is up to your preference. Once you've decided, sew it onto the top of the tail. Below, I'll demonstrate the sewing method. Cut a piece of 4-strand cotton. Pull out 2 strands from it. Thread the needle. And first tie a knot to secure it on the main part. Everyone should secure it multiple times, making sure it's fixed securely. Then trim off the excess. And cut open the folded area. That concludes the tutorial for the mother rabbit decoration. Next, let's learn how to make the baby rabbit decoration. It is divided into facial features, paw pad number 1, paw pad number 2 and the tail. Let's start with paw pad number 1. Use the chain stitch to cast on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitches used include SC2 tog, SC3 in 1. Please watch the demonstration. Get the yarn. Foundation chain 5, STS. Then make 1 chain stitch to begin. From the second to last stitch, work 1 single crochet in each stitch. SC2 tog. First pick up the left side yarn and insert. Yarn over and pull through. Skip 1 stitch. Insert from the left side. Pull the yarn through. There will be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops at once. This completes the SC2 tog. Next, work 3 single crochets into the last chain stitch. After completing, rotate the piece. Pick up the other 2 strands of the remaining chain, and work 1 single crochet. SC3 in 1. That is, pick up the 2 strands of the skip chain stitch from before. Crochet 3 single crochets. After finishing, continue with one single crochet on the left side. Work 2 single crochets into the last chain stitch. Join with a slip stitch. Leave a 15 cm yarn tail for sewing. This completes one meat pad number 1. Everyone, make another one. Finally, sew together using the method shown earlier. Match and sew according to the sample chart positions. The remaining decorations were demonstrated before. Everyone, follow the chart to complete them. Finally, sew them onto the corresponding positions. Let me demonstrate how to embroider the nose and blush. Start with the nose. Cut a 30 cm yarn tail. Embroider a shape like this one. The position here is random. That completes the nose. Finally, embroider 3 small segments on each side of the eyes. Add the blush. That concludes the tutorial for the baby rabbit decoration. Next, let's learn how to make a butterfly. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Work back and forth. Please watch the demonstration. Get the yarn. Cast on an adjustable magic ring. Then make 3 chains as the beginning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet. Next, work 2 chains as a transition. Then work 2 double crochets in the loop. Work 2 chains. 2 half double crochets. Two chains. 2 double crochets. Two chains. 1 double crochet. Tighten the center of the piece. Do not join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. This completes the first row. Now move on to the second row. Chain 2 as the beginning chain. Turn the work. Follow the pattern chart for crocheting. Pay attention to the single crochet and slip stitch. Work them into the gap between 2 stitches. Finally, crochet 2 chains. Pick up the top 2 strands of the third chain from the beginning chain and slip stitch. This completes the second row. Leave a 30 cm tail and cut the yarn. Take another yarn and crochet 7 chains as the antenna. Weave in all the yarn tails. Then insert the hook into the middle chain stitch. And pass through the center of the butterfly. Pull out the reserved yarn of the butterfly. Then crochet a few slip stitches to the left. Finally, make one chain stitch to secure. Hide the starting tail of the yarn. Thread the reserved tail into a sewing needle. Sew it onto the corresponding position on the main piece. Stitch together the yarn from the surface of the main part and the wrong side of the butterfly. You can also fold the butterfly in half like this. To create a 3D effect when sewing the butterfly, just sew through a few strands here to join. Here, I'm sewing it flat. After completing it, tie off and weave in the ends. Everyone follow the chart to crochet the corresponding number of butterflies. That concludes the butterfly section. Next, let's learn How to make stars. There are large stars and small stars. Both use the magic ring method to start. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch used is the treble crochet. Please watch the demonstration. I'll demonstrate with the small star first. Everyone follow the chart to complete the first 2 rounds first. Mine is already crocheted ahead of time. Now let's work on the third round. Make 1 beginning chain. Start with 1 single crochet. Work 1 single crochet and 1 half double crochet into the left stitch. Work 1 double crochet and 1 treble crochet into the next stitch. The method for treble crochet is to yarn over twice. Insert the hook into the same stitch. Yarn over and draw through. There are now 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. This completes the treble crochet. Work 1 treble crochet and 1 double crochet into the left stitch. Work 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Then work 1 SC2 tog. First, insert the hook into the next 2 stitches on the left and draw the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull through all loops at once. After completing the SC2 tog, follow the pattern chart to finish the remaining stitches. Finally, skip 1 stitch without working. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. This completes the third round. For the remaining rounds, the stitch techniques have all been demonstrated before. Please follow the chart to complete them. At the end, leave a long yarn tail for sewing. That concludes the small star. For the remaining small stars and large stars, please follow the pattern chart to finish them, and sew them onto the corresponding positions. Up to this point, the explanation of this product is complete. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family. Supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.